Getting a client to pay you is not the hard part. Keeping them, getting them results, making sure they don't ask for a refund within 30 days is. That is actually where most creators completely fall apart. And here's what nobody really actually talks about. The reason most online businesses never actually scale to a certain point has nothing to do with marketing, nothing to do with content, nothing to do with sales. It's actually because the people paying you are not getting results. And when people don't get results, your business dies slowly from the inside out. So today I'm going to show you the exact fulfillment system that keeps clients enrolled, eliminates refunds, and turns every client into proof that sells your next one. So if you've been following along in this series, we've already covered the 4 pillars of making money online. Content, how you get attention. Funnels, how you capture attention. Offers, how you package what you sell. Sales, how you convert leads into cash. And if you've done all 4 of these correctly, congratulations, you now have revenue. But revenue is not a business. Revenue without fulfillment is a ticking time bomb. And that is exactly what this episode is about. Let me paint you a picture here. You launch your program, you get clients in the first months, and you are excited because money's coming in. Month 2, 3 of them stop showing up. They're not doing the work, they're not responding to any messages. Month 3, 2 of them ask for refunds, 1 of them leaves a bad review, another tells the audience that your program did not work. Now you're spending all your time putting these fires out instead of actually growing. And here's what's insane. You did not have a bad product. You actually have real knowledge. You had a real solution. The problem was not what you were teaching. The problem was how you were delivering it. This is the fulfillment problem. And it kills more online businesses than bad marketing ever will. Because bad marketing means you get no clients. Bad fulfillment means that you get clients, they fail, then your reputation is destroyed. So let me ask you, which one is worse? Here's the biggest mistake I see creators make when they build a program. They think that fulfillment means giving people information. So they record 50 hours of video, they dump it into a course platform, they create 100-page PDFs, and they build this massive library of content, and then they wonder why nobody's actually getting results. Well, here's why. Information does not create transformation. I'll say it again. Information alone does not create a transformation. Behavior does. Your client does not need more information. They have Google, they have YouTube, they have ChatGPT and all the AIs where they can find all the information anywhere. What they cannot find anywhere is a system that makes them execute. Think about it like this. Every person who's ever bought a gym membership has access to the information they need to get in shape. The equipment is there, the exercises are known, the nutrition science is also available. So why are 90% of gym memberships unused after 90 days? Because information without a system for execution is worthless. Your program is just the same. If you are just handing people information, you are building a library, not a business. So what does actually work? Well, systems. Not more content, not more modules, not more bonuses. Systems that drive behavior. Systems that create accountability. Systems that make it harder for your client to fail than to succeed. And I'm going to give you the exact 4 layers right now. And by the way, I built a 1-page template called the Fulfillment System Builder that maps out all of these layers with the exact questions you need to answer for your own program. It's free. It's linked down in the description. No opt-in or anything like that. I'd recommend downloading it now so you can go ahead and fill it out as we go through each layer. So every program that currently produces results has 4 different layers. Not 1, not 2, 4. And if you're missing one of them, you have a leak in your business that is costing you clients and money every single month. The first 48 hours after someone pays you is the most important 48 hours in the entire client relationship. This is where expectations are set. This is where momentum is created. This is where the client decides consciously or subconsciously whether they are actually going to do the work. Most creators, they send a welcome video, a link to a course portal, and then that's it. Here's what an actual onboarding system looks like. Within the first 48 hours, the client should complete an intake form that tells them exactly where they are, receive a clear roadmap of what happens in week 1, week 2, week 4, have their first action item assigned, not suggested, assigned. Know exactly who to contact if they have questions. It's not complicated, but most creators never build it because they are too focused on getting the next client instead of activating the ones who've already paid. If your client is confused in the first 48 hours, you have already lost them. And here's the truth. Your client does not need your entire curriculum in 1 week. They need the next step. That is it, the next step. An execution system means that you are not dumping everything on them and hoping they figure out. You are sequencing the work so they can only focus on what matters right now. Let's say you run a coaching program that helps people launch an online offer. Bad fulfillment looks like, here are 12 modules, go through them at your own pace. Good fulfillment looks like, this week your only job is to write your offer statement using this template. Submit it by Friday, we'll review it on Monday. See the difference? One gives information, the other drives execution. When you build an execution system, your clients do not get overwhelmed. They get results, step by step, in order, on a timeline. Your client is going to make mistakes. That's expected, and that's fine. What's not fine is when they make mistakes and nobody catches it for 3 weeks. A feedback system means that there is a structured way for clients to submit work, get revised, and receive corrections before they waste time going in the wrong direction. This can be as simple as a weekly submission. They turn in their work, you or your team reviews it, and they get specific feedback within 48 hours. Think about what this does psychologically. The client knows someone is watching. Someone is checking. Someone cares whether they actually succeed. That alone increases completion rate dramatically. Not because feedback is magical, but because the accountability of being seen changes behavior. Most programs have 0 feedback loops. The client is essentially on their own. And then the creator wonders why nobody actually finishes the program. Now, next is the actual layer that separates programs that get testimonials from programs that get refund requests. Accountability means that there is a mechanism that creates consequences for inaction. Now, I'm not talking about punishment, I'm talking about structure. For you, and it depends on your offer, but this could be weekly check-ins where the client reports on what they did, a cohort module where peers hold each other accountable, progress tracking that is visible to both the client and you, maybe even like milestone markers that trigger the next phase only when the previous one is complete. Here's the principle. When a client knows that someone is tracking their progress and that there are structured checkpoints, they do the work. When they are anonymous inside of a course portal with no deadlines, no tracking, they disappear. The accountability system is not about babysitting, by the way. It's actually about engineering an environment where success is the default outcome. Now that you see the 4 layers, go back and look at the 90% of online programs. What do they actually have? A course portal with too much content, no onboarding, no sequenced execution, no feedback, no accountability. They are selling access to information and calling it a program. Then they wonder why their churn rate is 50% and why they're constantly chasing new clients and why they can never actually stabilize their revenue. The answer is sitting right in front of them. Their fulfillment is broken. And here's the part that really matters. When your fulfillment is broken, your entire business model is broken. Because every client that fails is a client that will never refer anyone. Every client that quit is a client that you have to replace. And every refund is revenue you have already spent. Bad fulfillment does not just cost you one client. It costs you every client that client would have sent you. Now, if you downloaded the fulfillment system builder earlier, look at it. Look at those 4 layers. How many of them are filled in? How many of them are completely blank? If most of them are empty, that is not a problem, that is clarity. Now you know exactly where your leaks are, and you know what needs to be built. This is exactly why I do not just help creators build offers or funnels. I install fulfillment systems, onboarding sequences, execution frameworks, feedback loops, accountability structures, because I have seen what happens when you have great marketing and then broken delivery. You scale your problems, you get more clients, more complaints, more refunds, more chaos. See, the creators I work with do not have that problem because before we even scale the front end, we make sure that the back end actually works. Now, that is the difference between a creator who makes money and a creator who builds a business. One sells, the other delivers. So now think about where you are. You know how to create content and get attention. You know how to build a funnel that captures leads. You know how to structure an offer that people actually want to buy. You know how to run a sales process that closes. And now you know how to fulfill in a way that actually produces results. You have the complete front to back end system to getting a client and making them successful. But here's the question that most creators never ask. What happens after that? Because if you are doing all this work to get one client, deliver one result, collect one payment, and then starting all over from zero every single time, my friend, you are working 10 times harder than you actually need to. You see, the real money in this business is not made on the first sale. The real money is made in everything that comes after. And that is exactly what we will be covering in the next episode. How to turn every single client into a long-term revenue engine. The next episode for you to watch is linked down below, and I will see you there.